Okay. What's up, fight fans? We are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am your host, Edwin, and we have an amazing show for you here today. Let me get set up. I want to set up all my comments, make sure that everything's up and running right now. All right, there we go. So, fight fans, we have a lot in store for you today. We have a lot to talk about. There's a lot of big fights coming up September 14th. We got Saul Canelo Alvarez coming up against Edgar Berlanga, and I want to hear your thoughts on that. What's up, Frontline? Salute, baby. How you doing in the building? Thanks for joining in. As you tune in, let me know where you're watching from, and please don't forget to smash that like button as we get into these fights right here. So this fight right here is interesting, and we're going to touch on it first, and we're going to come back around last. We're going to talk about it, okay? Because Saul Canelo Alvarez has 61 fights, 2 losses, and 39 knockouts. And Edgar Berlanga is coming into the fight with a record of 22-17 ways by knockout. What's up, Carl? What's up, baby? How you doing, Carl Dean? And we're going to be touching up on that fight. We're going to work our way around up to that fight. We're going to talk about the undercard, and I want you give me your opinions on what you think what this undercard looks like, co-main event, and what do you guys think? You know, in no particular order. Either one of these fights right here could be, a co-main event or a main event on their own card in their own right, depending where you put the fight, because I think that Caleb Plant, is strong enough, as the fans came to back him up, as you guys seen, right, in the little incident with Caleb Plant. So the boxing world got love for him. They definitely do. Now he's coming up against a tough opponent in Trevor. Trevor's coming into this fight. He's 28. He has 28 fights and 21 big ways by knockout. And he's undefeated, Trevor. So Caleb Plant, I think this is gonna be a tough fight. I think this is gonna be the surprise fight of the night. I have a gut feeling about this. Yeah. When you're an undefeated fighter, you don't know what it is to lose. And he's got that on his side. I'm not saying just because Caleb Plant lost that he's going to lose. Caleb's a great fighter in his own right. I just think that when you're fighting an undefeated fighter and they don't know how to lose, and according to them, this is their moment. Caleb's looking to put another notch under his belt and move up. Yes, I know what he's trying to do. But Trevor, in the same regards, he's trying to make his way and put a name. And if he can get Caleb Plant under his belt that he defeated, that's gonna be a good name. Yeah, Caleb Plant shared the ring with Saul Canelo Alvarez. He's got some, notable names under his record, his resume. So, Trevor, I think that this is a big moment for him, and either Caleb Plant takes his O away or Trevor stays undefeated. I think that Caleb Plant, his movement and mobility is a little underrated. I don't like how he just stands straight up when he goes to evade backwards. I don't like that about Caleb. His durability is good, but match when his stamina is an issue. And he's been criticized for dwindling away in the later rounds. He couldn't keep it together against Saul Canelo Alvarez, in which, in fact, I thought he boxed well in the first half of that fight. It's just that his cardio and conditioning might have not held up. But in Caleb Plant's situation, I think there's a little bit more to it. I actually think that Caleb Plant overtrained. Yeah. In that fight for Saul Canelo Alvarez in the buildup, where that he like, the moment, fighting Saul, that he went in 100 and 200% in training camp. And he might have overtrained, and all the anxiety of the fight. He probably had a energy dump during the fight. And Caleb Plant, he couldn't understand why he was going so many rounds in the gym, and in this 12-round fight, his conditioning wouldn't hold up against Saul Canelo Alvarez. And some people might have frowned on it and say, oh, he wasn't well prepared and so forth. But there is a thing where that you can overtrain, and your body's not responding because it's overworked throughout the months that you overtrained it like that. So that could have been something with Caleb Plant, because when I think about him, he's not the type of man that slacks off. In fact, he's been known to step it up. So in that aspect, I think that that's where Caleb Plant might have over prepared for the fight with Saul Canelo Alvarez. And I think if he had to do it again, he would have did it a different way. Yeah. So, and then on top of that card, we got the wild man, Rolly. He's making a return. All right. I think this is Rolly's last shot right here. This is it. Now, Rolly's coming into the fight. He got a record of 15-2 and 13, right? 13 knockouts. Both times, both his losses, he got knocked out in both losses. All right. So, and Caleb Plant, right? He's 22, 2 and 13, right? And one of his losses, he got knocked down, which in fact was Saul Canelo Alvarez. I wanted to bring that up too as well before I moved on to Rolly. But anyway, Rolly, right? I think Rolly got to win. He's got to come in, show up, and show out. Rolly's got to show the world, the boxing world, that he's evolving with boxing, that he's not staying still and has the same skills, match in, match out. Although we saw a little bit more poised Rolly against Isa Pitbull Cruz, maybe a little too calm, you know, he was trying to like weather the storm and bring Isa out into deep water and then finish him. But Isa was trying to close the show early. He didn't want to go there. So, Rolly is in a tough situation for his career right now. Whether he wants to joke about it or not, or try to wave losses like they're not a factor or whatever. Rolly made himself because of the character that he is, and the excitement and the voice box that he brings to boxing. He's also somewhat of a bully, big guy for the weight division. And, he can cut a lot of weight and come in pretty fairly big among these guys. And I rarely heard anybody ever call Rolly a weight bully, but in fact, he was pretty big. But Rolly, they didn't hold him to that because of he kind of had like, I guess, fans wrapped into the little engine that could, the guys that's out there fairly green, giving it his all, real a real underdog little guy story, one for the little guy. You know what I mean? Rolly. And he makes you dream big. And you look at Rolly and you say, man, if Rolly can do it, shit, why can't I be world champion? Like, and he got a real belt. So it was like, so I think that Rolly right now, coming into this fight right here, he's fighting Emmanuel 16-1 and 11. I don't know much about him, right? I went back and I tried to look up two fights. I think it was like 2-3 fights I tried to look up on him. What can I say? This is Rolly's night. The stage is set. Let's see what Rolly does. All right. It's up to him. Another good fight that's going to be on this card too that I want to talk about is Stephen Kubo Fulton. And we all know who Stephen Kubo Fulton is, right? Stephen Kubo Fulton is the former 122-pound WBC and WBO champion of the world. Okay. And he lost last year to the reigning 122-pound king of the division, Naoya Inoue. Now, Naoya beat Stephen Kubo Fulton impressively. And since then, he has been scheduled to appear on a couple fight cards here and there, but due to, whatever reason, those fights never materialized and he got pulled off the cards. So here he is. He's on the Saul Canelo Alvarez undercard, and he's back. He's going to fight. He's coming into this fight 21-1-8. He only has 8 knockouts. Okay. The one loss he has, he got knocked out. And that was to the Japanese superstar, the Monster, right? Now he's coming against Carlos Castro, right? Now he's got a pretty big record with 30 fights, 2 losses. He got knocked out once in one of the losses with 14 knockouts. So it appears like he has a little bit more punching power than his foe, Stephen Kubo Fulton. Stephen Kubo Fulton right now, he's kind of like in that situation where now he has to find himself. Now he has to find himself a new weight division, a new place. Where's his career headed? And where does he see himself? What belts is he going to go after? What champions? And where does he fit in this equation? Because Naoya Inoue is coming up the ladder, right? And we all know that we're waiting for him to come up to 126. And if he comes up to 126, lo and behold, Stephen Kubo Fulton could be there with another title. I believe Stephen Kubo Fulton does possess the skills to become world champion again. Only time will tell. Let's see what he looks like coming off the loss versus Naoya Inoue. I'm not sure. Every fighter doesn't respond the same way, coming off of a loss. Could he shell up in there? We don't know. Every man is different. You can't say because this guy lost and he bounced back well, then he should do the same. I wish it worked like that. It just doesn't. I can't say that until I see him. And this is where you want to get your fighter, a tough fight so that he can fight and that he knows that he's in a fight. You don't want to really get him a tomato can or a cab driver, right? Because that's not going to cure your fighter. In the back of his mind, he's going to know that guy he's going to see it. He's going to sense the intelligence of the guys in front of him. He's going to know you guys got him a tomato can. That's not going to help your guy. Yeah, you want to get your guy into a fight, but you want to get him into a fight where that he's a little bit more favored. That's what kind of fight you want him in. Enough so that he knows he's in a fight, but he's going to win. After a loss, that's what you want for your fighter. You want to get him a guy like right in there. And then sink or swim. We'll find out if this is what you want to do with your life. We'll find out. Were you playing boxing or do you want to be a fighter? So this is where Stephen Kubo Fulton is. I'm pretty sure you guys, fight fans, have seen. As soon as the champion loses, it just seems like he just keeps losing and losing, may win one in there, but never quite get over the hump and become a world champion and successfully defend the world championship, So I don't know. About Stephen Kubo Fulton. I'm just going to leave it. Time will tell. And we're going to have to see. Roman Villa's on that card too. He's fighting Richard, right? Rodriguez. Roman's coming into that fight 26-2-24 with 1 loss by knockout. Rodriguez is 19-2-14. He's never been stopped. There's another fight on this card, right? that I'm interested on seeing too as well. And I just want to bring it up, right? Because I think it's going to be a okay fight for as long as it's going to be a fight. Because I think Jonathan Lopez, he's coming into the fight 16-12 with 12 knockouts. He's undefeated. I want to see a little bit more of him, right? He's fighting what's his name? Richard, right? He's 15-2 and 8 knockouts. So I want to see what's going to go on with that. Because those are the guys that are coming up, you know, just like your Boo Boo Shoo Shoes Carrington, you know, just like those type of guys, you know, where that Shoo Shoo, I think is gonna start cracking the top 10, even though he's ranked really high in some of the boxing ranking, which this isn't a case where that they're trying to push the star that has the bigger name against ahead of the guys that been putting in the work. Because truth be told, Shushu hasn't fought anybody in the top 10 yet. So, and he hasn't competed for a world title. You see what I'm saying? So his ranking is a little bit due in part to his star status and his buzz, right? But you can't deny the boy doesn't have skills. My man got skills, but as soon as he gets out of that prospect contender, then we'll start talking. Or maybe he might just skip from the top 10 and just compete for a time. I don't know right now. And time's going to tell, you know. There's another fight on this card that I didn't bring up. I've just remembered it. It's Lara and Danny Garcia. Lara and Danny Garcia, what do you guys think about this fight? This is an interesting fight in itself. Let me see what you guys are saying. What's up, Bam Bam? What you saying over here, Bam? Known for cheating. Wow. Come on, man. You can't put what one guy. I know that's a joke, but you can't put what one guy did on the other guy. You know, uh, you know, uh, Danny Garcia, he's coming off a long layoff, right? And Lara, right? He did take care of business, but let's be honest, guys. How did you like his opponent that was in front of him? And how did he look? You know what I mean? So, I mean, I think that Danny, even with 2 years or whatever it is away from the sport, can come in and definitely play spoiler and take that belt. And then after that, Danny's name and the belt can catapult him to a much bigger fight in the division. You know, we'll see. You know, if you think Errol Spence Jr. is gonna fight Sebastian Fundora still, rumors are flying, but Errol can jump up and fight Danny again for that 160 if he has it. So, we don't know what's going to happen in the sport of boxing. A lot of names and things are being thrown out around. I'm sure you guys have heard all the discussions and the debates that have been going around with Jerron Boots Ennis and Brian Norman Jr. and Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson and Lomachenko. And how Lomachenko, in fact, today revealed that, well, it wasn't today, it was a few days ago. Then there was another post. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Lomachenko posted a little while ago, and he went on and said that the reason why he stopped negotiations with Tank because he didn't see that their side was serious, right? And which is peculiar to me because I would like to know who are they negotiating with on Tank's side. Because I know you don't call Tank Davis. You don't call his coaches because they're not his promoter or managers. So who are you calling? I think you're gonna have to call Amazon Prime, right? Or Leonard Ellaby, the PBC. For Gervonta Tank Davis, if he's GTD Promotions, right? Who are you calling? Who do you call? So when these people are saying these things and Loma's saying, yeah, I walked away because I didn't see they were serious in negotiation, this X, Y, and Z. Bob Aaron was reporting everything was going fine and that Loma just walked away. Then lo and behold, Loma comes back and takes a stab at Tank Davis and says this. Is Loma trying to spin the block? Is Loma saying, all right, I won't take the entire year around. I'm here now, raising my hand. What's going on? We already know what Shakur Stevenson's doing. He's fighting Joe Cordine. So we already know that. And in fact, I like that fight. You know why I like that fight? Because it's activity. It might not be the fight I want. No, it's hell no, I don't want that fight. I don't even want to see that fight. But I like it because he's not staying on the shelf. That's the only reason why I like that fight. That's it, right? The fight I want is him versus Tank, or Shakur versus Loma, or Shakur versus the other Ukrainian fighter, right? That's probably what I want. Tank taking the WBC against the WBO, and then, Shakur, the WBC against the WBO, and Tank with the WBA versus the IBF, which would be Loma. And then the winner out of all of them meet at a unification for all the belts, all four. In a good world, that's how it would go down. But it seems like Shakur's doing this. The other Ukrainian, Burchek, he's doing whatever he's doing. And now Loma's getting back in the mix. And little Twitter fingers, he's back. What does this all mean? I don't know. I know that it's not going to lure me into another discussion about these fighters when it's apparent they don't want to fight each other for whatever reason. I'm not in the room with them. I have no idea what's going on. But I know I can tell you one thing, they're not fighting. I know that much. I figured that out. So who's Jaron Boots Ennis going to fight now? It looks like he's running out of options. There's no one else is going. He's going to have to fight his mandatory. That dude. He's going to have to fight him. Because there's just, at this point, I don't know. But those are all those fights. Let's talk about one of the biggest fights. Puerto Rico versus Mexico. Whether we want it or not, our Puerto Rican fighter got the fight. Berlanga got what he asked for. Did he not request, petition, and demand this fight? Berlanga. Did he not? Come on, hit that like button, people. Hit that like button. Let's talk about this fight. He sure the hell requested for this fight, Berlanga. And he's been quite boisterous in weeks leading up to the fight. You've heard him. I'm pretty sure you've gone all over YouTube and seen Berlanga, and he's been nothing but short of words. And his expression of how he feels he's going to beat Saul Canelo Alvarez. In which each interview, Edgar Berlanga is talking the talk. He seems to know exactly what to expect when coming up against a fighter such as Saul Canelo Alvarez. When reporters put mics in his face, he seems to have all the answers. Will he have all the answers on fight night where it counts? They say talk is cheap. Devin Haney said he knew all the answers to the test that was Ryan Garcia. Did he pass the test? There's a lot of fighters that could say everything, but it's how you respond. and how Edgar Berlanga is going to react in this fight. Many people don't give him a chance, and some give him a boxer's punching chance. Me, myself, I consider this a fight. Edgar Berlanga requested this fight. He asked for this fight, and now we got ourselves a fight. It's up to Edgar Berlanga to show up and to show the fans that there is another level to Edgar Berlanga we have not seen yet. Everything that Edgar Berlanga is trying to sell us is doing part two. It's your dancing partner, and styles make fights. Edgar Berlanga is saying right now that it's just because he hasn't been given the opportunity, that he hasn't shown the world he's not bullshitting. And just in case Edgar Berlanga holds true to his word, would he shock the boxing world? Edgar Berlanga has a tough task in front of him, and Saul Canelo Alvarez. As we all know, we don't think that Edgar Berlanga can just walk in and outbox such a skilled fighter as Saul Canelo Alvarez. And some boxers, pro boxers, in fact, have shared and expressed their what they believe Edgar Berlanga's chances are in this fight, and how they see his victory. Because yes, it's hard to believe, but some fighters did think that if Edgar Berlanga had a chance, this is how the way he should carry it out. And they said Edgar Berlanga needs to fight him. Exactly what I said. He needs to go forward and give him pressure. Even though Saul is fairly young, Edgar Berlanga in boxing years, he's younger. And he needs to put that young youth and power to work to his favor. He needs to pressure Saul Canelo Alvarez and maybe warm up big in the back in the locker room. So when he enters the fight, he'll be well warmed up and well prepared, ready to go into the war. Be calm in his moments and don't let his opportunity slip away. And if anything big shall to happen in the fight, don't panic either way. Whether you drop him or he drops you, either way, don't panic. Don't allow yourself to get in an adrenaline dump that the fight comes out of you. He's got to be cool, for 36 minutes. He's going to have to be alert, ready for 36 minutes. He's going to have to stay on point. But Saul Canelo Alvarez, and we all know this, is a second half fighter. He always has been. He always seems to try to break down his opponent, and right past the 6th round is when Saul Canelo Alvarez typically does his best work and to try to finish his opponent. But Saul's no slouch neither. When he was a lot younger in his career, if he had you hurt early, you better believe he was going to get you out of there. As he adopted a more, a winning style of boxing, so to speak, because it does win. Okay. Saul Canelo Alvarez's style is a winning style. Okay. Where that he knows how to mix up his punches, the level, the speed of his punches. He also knows how to do that in pacing himself and going into deep waters. He's a very good deep water fighter, Saul Canelo Alvarez. Yes. And that's what happened with Jaime Munguia as well. And fighters like Caleb Plant and Ryder fighting against Saul Canelo Alvarez. He started to drown them. And even though he wasn't able to finish him and knock him out, except Caleb Plant, right? Saul was relentless in his attack. He didn't let them off the hook neither. And they had to take a lot of damage to stand up and take a moral victory in saying, I went 12 rounds with Saul Canelo Alvarez, with going and taking that moral victory. You pretty much got your face punched in, Ryder, right? Was that beating really? But Ryder did good in the 12th round. I remember that, but he was battered. He was battered. And in order to get there, this is what he had to do. So, and I don't think Ryder was really the same after that Saul fight. He looked good against Munguia, but you can tell. That Saul fight took something out of Ryder. It did. So, and that's what I mean when you're fighting these kind of guys and these kind of type fighters like Saul. Berlanga can go in there and take a pretty significant beating. And trying to get that moral victory to go to the 12th round, would he go all 12 rounds battered? And at the end, he's like, I went 12 rounds with Saul. Like, his coaches got to be prepared for the night. I know that Berlanga's telling his coaches, don't throw that towel. He's going to have to kill me. I know that, you have to have that mindset. But as a coach, you got to be there for your fighter. If you expect to have your fighter to live to fight another day, and you have love for your fighter, and you know that your fighter can still have a career after this fight, well, then you got to be a coach. No matter what your fighter says to you, doesn't matter. You got to be a coach in these situations. So are his coaches prepared to be coaches? Or are they in there to allow their fighter to get their face battered in and at all costs be like, oh, I think you're still in the fight. Keep sending them out there. We're going to see I have a lot of questions. And we're going to get a lot of answers on the night of the fight. Look, you're in a fight. I'm going to be honest with you. You're in a fight. I'm not here to convince you. I'm not here to change your mind. Okay? I'm just telling you that Saul Canelo Alvarez, no matter what, he's in a fight. Whether or not you think that there's a big skill gap here, right? One punch can change the course of history. One punch can change the night. We all seen it. And since I've witnessed that with my own two eyes before, then I can't count them out. I can't just count out Edgar Berlanga. Edgar Berlanga, bro, listen, you got to punch his chance, brother. You do got 17 big knockouts, and 16 of them were your first 16 fights. And I think they were like knockouts in the first round. No one was getting out the first round with this dude. If Edgar Berlanga can pretend in his head that Saul Canelo Alvarez, and he can convince himself that maybe he might surprise Alvarez. You never listen. Look, here's what happens. When you're that good for so long and you get in the ring with fighters, you start to anticipate that the respect level that you built as a champion, they're going to start off a certain way. Sometimes you'll get that little one dude that tries to do that explosion, and you show the world, nah, that's not going to work. So when people go back and look at your highlights, everybody that comes in to fight you, they kind of have like the feel out process, the feel out round, right? Because this is where you're at in this level in the game. So Saul, he's here in the game. How dare you come out and try to knock me out in the first round? He might not be expecting it. He might be able to catch him by surprise, like storm the castle, kick open the front door. Try it. What he got to lose? Yo, Magia, wake up. Oh, no. First round. Damn. Listening to Edwin in Round 1 Sports Talk, you done got knocked out. Yo, Berlanga, get up. Berlanga. Yo. I still think it's a good idea. Try him. Like, don't half-ass it neither. Don't gotta try to like fake like you're gonna try him and see that he adjusts and then back off. No, that's not trying him. When I say try him, try him. You missed him. Go for it. Just go for it. You know? And then after like 8 or 9 punches, somewhere around there, if you're not connecting well, or at least connecting one big good one, then back off. Then settle back into the fight. He'll do the same. Because Saul only knows how to be Saul at this point. That's exactly what he'll do. I don't think he's going to jump out of character. No. Saul has a game plan, and we all know what his game plan is going to be. To bring you out to deep water. So he's not going to jump out of character. Saul got a certain thing he worked out with his coach, and you better believe that's exactly what he's going to do. That's why I say, like, test him like that, you know, and see what happens. We never know. We never know. You know, yo, Berlanga, get up. Yo, I done got Berlanga knocked the fuck out. Yo, nah, but if he goes in there intelligent, what if he doesn't get knocked out? What if he slips the right punches and he connects the right punches? And we see Saul Canelo Alvarez legs do the stanky leg. Yo, I see his leg do the stanky leg and be like, ooh, get it. Yo. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know. You don't think so? Oh, yeah, he potentially could hurt him early if he puts pressure on him. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yo, I mean, look, you could say what you want, whether they were, good competition or cab drivers or whatever. But at the same time, when you look at Edgar Berlanga's record when he was coming up, in fact, some of those other guys he was fighting when he had like 4 fights, 5 fights, 6 fights, they had bigger records, and some of them were like maybe not as good, I guess, as him, but you couldn't say that about him when he was like 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, because he was 5-0, 6-0. You see what I'm saying? So he was new too, So it's like, oh, who did Edgar Berlanga fight? Well, shit, he only had this many fights or whatever, So, but now he's getting his first crack at a world title, several world titles. And this is it right here. The stage is set for Edgar Berlanga. September 14th, Edgar Berlanga's got to show the world all that shit he was talking about. And that's what I mean about shit talking, guys, right? Because you got to believe it. If he gets knocked out brutally, all the shit talking, they just going to cut them reels and make hundreds and thousands of memes out your ass. Nowadays, when you talk shit like that, they got you on reels when shit talking gone wrong. Y'all seen them shits, right? They're gonna make a segment of him when Edgar Berlanga, if he gets knocked out brutally, the more brutal, the worse it's gonna be with the memes, because they're just gonna be playing back everything he said and showing it that it got done to him. Especially if he describes a way he's gonna knock out Saul Canelo Alvarez, and in fact Saul knocks him out the exact same way. How many times have we seen that? Where the other guy says, I'm gonna knock you out with an uppercut, and that guy knocks him out with an uppercut. We've seen that so many times. So that's why I'm a little nervous for Berlanga, because they got film on him on talking shit. And they're going to be like, yo, didn't you say this? It's not going to turn out too good. That's why my suggestion to him early, way early, when the fight first got announced. Remember when Berlanga and Caleb Plant got into it? And he was like, I got that Saul fight. And Caleb was telling him, but at the time, he didn't. And I was like, shut your mouth, kid. And if you get the fight, please do me a favor. Don't run your mouth. And the first thing he does, I was like, no. Shit. You know? And you know who's going to get it a little bit. Well, we might get it bad, are the Puerto Rican fans and the Puerto Rican fighters. You know, Mexico's going to go up one again. They're going to rub it in our face. And they're going to try to act like our guy was his equal to your guy. And that don't remember the fact that on paper, this fight shouldn't even be sanctioned, right? On paper. This fight, there's no way, you know. But you know, they're gonna try to act like that. Yeah, you know it's going down. That's why, you know, in a competitive nature, if we're competing, and we are, Puerto Rico's got to hold their own. You know, Puerto Rico can't ride on United States coattail. Although we are brothers, we are affiliated. Yes, you know, I'm American Puerto Rican. Puerto Rico got to hold their own. So at the end of the day, you know, that's how it's going to be. So as far as Berlanga, bro, you got to represent, baby. You know, you want the backing of the people, and you wear the flag proudly, and you represent Puerto Rican fighting, then that's what it is. That's all to it. Whether we feel like this is not maybe the best fight on paper, we got it now. We're here. And I believe that our Puerto Rican warrior is ready. Win, lose, or draw, Berlanga's going to be ready. I hope so. And, you know, the Boricua's ready to rock out. So bring that Mexican shit if you want. We going to bang. So it is what it is. And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's time to compete now. It's time to compete. You know? And they going to count it, then we're going to have to act like it got to count. So they're not going to say it ain't going to count, right? Okay, then. So Puerto Rico, you got to hold your own, baby. You got to hold your own. You know, we got another Puerto Rican fighter, though, too, Danny Garcia. You know, he stands to win a title on that night, too, against the Colombians and stuff. So, look, we have two Puerto Rican fighters fighting for belts on that card, in fact. So, you know, we can get two world titles and bring them back to Puerto Rico, you know, and reference to America, you know, because they count our titles too, which is good. You know, we should. They make us raise their flag, then we should, you know, so yeah. You speak Spanish better than Berlanga? Yeah, but I think we all been down this road, right? We talked about it. You know, we all kind of felt like, as American Puerto Ricans, whether or not you could speak Spanish or you were born on the island, it's what you believed you were in your heart. Were your parents Puerto Rican? Were you born? Yeah. American Puerto Ricans sometimes have been Americanized, and they forget to teach their kids Spanish, because the most dominant language in America is still American. Even though you pick up a phone and it says for español, primas dos. You know what I mean? We there. We are the second most dominant language in the world. Is Latin. It goes American and then Latin. And it's due in part to the Puerto Ricans in the agreement and whatever deal they made with America. I'm not a politician here, so I'm not going to get deep into that. But you know, uh, I guess Berlanga might not be able to speak the language or so, but he is who he is, and he has the right to be a proud Puerto Rican, a Boricua, and represent, you know. And for all those that do not know what the word Boricua means, the word Boricua means brave lords, translated in English. It means brave lords. Yeah. So, frontline, you too much, bro. Frontline, you rocking them. Yo, listen. Yo, I don't know. But I know that Berlanga got a real close relationship with Fat Joe and the Terror Squad and them. But like everything in the world, that shit's on probation. You know what I'm saying? Depending on the outcome of the fight, Fat Joe ain't gonna be seen with your ass too long. You go face down, ass up in the ring. And yeah, he gonna get far away from you. He gonna be like face down, ass up. They gonna make a song about your ass. You might not. You know what I mean? Might want. Yo, he's got to get out there and give a good account for himself. He really does. If not, pull one of the biggest upsets in fucking boxing history that we've seen in quite some time. I couldn't describe the kind of upset that would be in fights, you know. Um, Even though Espinoza upset it Robersi, that wasn't like a huge big name upset. It was like a big upset in hardcore fans and betting fans, guys that know about the sport and that are really into it. That was a huge upset because the majority of the people had Robersi on that card. All the money was on Robersi on that night. You better believe it. Espinoza pulled one of the biggest upsets. Woo, that was big. But it wasn't big as in star status. So not a lot of people knew about it. It was big in the boxing world, but not like in star status. So as far as star status, like fighters like Mike Tyson, okay, fighters like Canelo, Floyd, big names. And what are the big names now? It would be like Terrence Crawford, um, Tyson Fury, Usyk, Tank Davis, Shakur. It would be like one of them losing to a rarely, terribly unknown. It's like it would be like Tank Davis getting knocked out by fucking Joe Gonzaga or something. You know what I mean? I'm not Joe Gonzaga. He's an old retired guy. He's not even in his weight division. I was just thinking about like somebody like over there or something, Joe Cordine or something. Bell knocks out Tank. Now that could be actually, you know what I mean, a good fight because their styles. Tank will rock him though. He'll shorten it up, destroy him. But it would. My point is that you know what I'm saying. What would be bigger than this? Like recently, Terrence Crawford beat the shit out of Errol Spence Jr. I mean, we all. No, I didn't see that coming. No, 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 no. No, I'm not going to even lie. I was shocked. I was so like, when I went into the fight, I had Terrence Crawford going into the fight, but he was beating Errol so bad that I felt bad for Errol. And a part of me wanted to jump in the ring and start fighting Terrence. Like, that's enough. Yo, back off him, bro. Back up, Terrence, bro. Yo, I wanted to fight for Errol. Man, listen, if I could, I would have jumped in the ring, karate chopped Terrence Crawford. Yo, he was getting whooped so bad. And I love Errol Spence Jr., man. I always talk about it. You've been on my channel and watching me for quite some time. You might have heard me talk about Errol Spence Jr. and that Kell Brook fight once or twice. That's when I became a fan of Errol Spence Jr. When I watched him go out there was no way you were going to convince me he was going to pull that victory off. I said all Kell Brook got to do is go to the 12th round. Errol's done. He's done, son. He's not beating Kell Brook out in a decision. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I was like, hell no. And he broke his orbital bone, man. He had that man like this. So he couldn't, no mas. He was like, yo, and I couldn't believe he pulled it off. In that time, I remember what I felt like watching that young man fight Errol Spence Jr. against Kell Brook, man. Yo, I was so happy for him. I jumped out. I was like, yo, I couldn't believe it. He did it. When Tio beat Loma, bro, that was some shit. Me and my brother, we was on the phone. We was talking about that fight, right? And we were saying, we were trying to talk Tio up, but we knew Tio was young and Loma was the veteran. He had the more skills, the matrix, right? And we were like, damn, Tio, man, he's about to lose his belt. And Tio started with, at that time, he was hot. He was hot. He was doing the Fortnite, the backflips in the ring, right? Tio was hot then, right? So I was like, damn, man, why Tio had to take this fight, right? But it was for all the belts. So I was like, I said to WBC, right? So going into the fight, man, I was mad nervous for Tio because I just knew Loma was going to just matrix that ass all night. And I was shocked to see Loma didn't start fighting. He gave away like 6 rounds. Basically, he just, here, Tio, the first 6 rounds. Just gave it to him. Yeah, I had to argue around for Loma. I had it like 5-1, but there was a lot of people that had it like, yo, this is 6-0 right now. Tio's pitching a shutout. Then Loma woke up and started throwing punches. He started catching Tio, and we were like, uh-oh. Was Loma waiting into the later rounds to turn it up on Tio to drag him out to deep waters? And now Tio's going to fall apart? And that's what we started thinking. We was like, oh, shit. We was getting nervous. I remember looking back at that fight. I was like 10th, 9th, 10th round. I was like, ooh. Loma just won X, Y, to Z. Tio ain't won a round since this, you know what I mean? You start sweating and shit. Oh shit, Tio. Like, yo. And Tio did one of the things that I did not see him doing in that fight. He bit down on the mouthpiece and he fought Loma the 11th, 12th round. He stood his ground against Loma. He didn't allow Loma to do the matrix. None of that. He cut him off. He was right in front of Loma. Ha, 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 ha. Tio fought his ass off that night. But and then fame, a little bit of media, a little bit of money got to your head. And Tio, like, oh, Bog, it happens to the best of us. He just got a big head and went crazy. Started saying stupid stuff. Hey, it is what it is, man. But those were moments, you know, of boxing that, you know, really. So, like, look, Munguia tried Canelo, Ryder tried him, Caleb Plant. The list goes on of how many fighters have tried against Saul Canelo Alvarez. And I'll repeat this once again. None of them have dropped him. He's got an iron chin, man. Not one of those fighters dropped Saul Canelo Alvarez. Not even, which I consider now to be a really good boxer. And I'm starting to really see what they were talking about. And Demetrius Bivol. I'm really starting to see now. I thought he was a good boxer, but I'm careful with what ESPN says. I'm careful with what all these other YouTube channels say because they have a habit of copy, paste, print. And all of them are just saying the same thing. So I got to watch that, right? So I'm doing my homework, right, on him. And judging off his last fight, his last two fights, in fact, right? I'm like watching him. Why his only last two fights? Because I said to myself, I said, listen, if you're trying to get him all that credit off of beating a smaller Saul Canelo Alvarez, that's exactly what he was. He was the smaller man moving up. Although Saul is Saul because of a big name, but that's exactly what you did. So how do you fare against guys your own size in your own division against the top guys in your weight division? And until I kept continuously seeing that I saw, no, wait a minute. Okay. He can also take their punches, deliver punches, counter punch. And he's a lot better than I thought initially. Initially, I just didn't like the guys he was boxing against somewhat. Right. Then, he seems to like, but styles make fights. And I also have to take into account the type of fighter he was fighting in front of him and their game plan and how they fought him, so you can't forget about the guy in front of you and what kind of work he was also doing in front of him. But I'm also starting to see that as this fight also gets closer between him and Arthur for all the belts as well, that I'm starting to think because of Arthur's injury as well, coming in, healing up, going into the fight, off the injury, okay, that I think that Bivol could actually outbox him for 12 rounds. I believe he has the skills, the ring IQ, the footwork to execute a good game plan enough to not have Arthur catch up to him with that power. I understand Arthur's power is there. It's dangerous all night, 12 rounds. He's going to have to be alert. But I really do believe that if anybody can do it, he can definitely do it, right? Because he does possess the boxing skills to pull this off. So, it's going to be an interesting fight. That's going to be a really interesting fight. What do you guys think about that fight? Let me know. That was a classic fight. Paradox says he needs a good power punch. You think so, Paradox? Let me tell you something about that. I don't think that's going to ever happen because of the way that whole situation went down. I pay attention to the small things in that fight with Saul Canelo Alvarez and Bivol. When Saul Canelo Alvarez fought Bivol, he had a rematch clause put in place to fight him again at 175 shall he lose. He declined the rematch clause, Saul Canelo Alvarez, and went the other way. And in fact, boycotted Demetrius Bivol's purse. At that time, we were early in that Russian thing, and they took that as an offense and didn't want to give Demetrius Bivol his money because they were saying that maybe he was supplying money to to the other guys or what have you, and they'll hold your money for that when your country's at war. And Saul's the one that reported that to them not to pay him. Yes, in fact. So, and then when that got finally worked out, Don't you remember? Demetrius Bivol went on YouTube, all over YouTube, in fact, and challenged Saul Canelo Alvarez again. And in fact, this time he said, I won't fight you at 175. I'll come down to your weight at 168, and I'll fight you for your belt at 168. And Saul Canelo Alvarez denied the fight at 168 against Demetrius Bivol. That all went down. That's public record. Saul came on and denied it publicly on podcast shows. That's not a secret. It's not like Saul's denying it. No, I never denied the fight. No, so out of his mouth. Yes, no, I don't want to fight him. What are you going to do? So I remember all this shit. No, he didn't get cheated out of his money. He finally got paid. Eventually, he finally got paid, right? But it took a long time. I think almost a year. The Bivol was in court after that Saul Canelo Alvarez fight. He didn't get his purse from Saul and them paying him. They froze the money. Yeah, they took all his money and shit. I don't know how far they went. I don't know if they even froze his initial bank account. But this is all because of Saul and them dropping dime on him about him being a Russian and born out there. And they always like, oh, because it almost went under the radar. The fight was set. The purse bids there was no problem, right? There was no problem until it came time to pay the man. He was salty. He lost. Yeah, Saul stabbed him in the back, bro. And I know that it was him and his team. Yeah, because the money was there. As soon as you walk out the ring, they got a check right there for you. The first check's going to be right there. You get the big pay-per-view check, and then when you get what we call the drip on the back end. Every month, there's people around the world that catch the fight late, or they want to throw a party or something and pay for it again. I don't know. And the checks get smaller and smaller off pay-per-view as the months until you get no more checks. But your first check is usually your biggest check. You know what I mean? I don't think you're going to do bigger numbers than the first night. They didn't give him his money. So we forget a lot when it comes to, but you got me here, Round One Sports Talk. I'll bring it back all up for you, right? That's what I'm here for, to remind y'all what was going on, and I'm paying attention. I'm keeping track. I'm keeping track of all these things that happen. So when we go back and we look back at all the times that Saul Canelo Alvarez told David the Monster Benavidez, oh, I don't want to fight you for your belt. Once upon a time, David the Monster Benavidez was the WBC 168-pound champion of the world, right? He loses his belt for outside drug use, cocaine. They strip him of the WBC world title. He loses it. When Saul Canelo Alvarez, just that week, literally that week, he made a YouTube video, went on and said, I have no ambition on unifying all four belts. David the Monster Benavidez can keep his belt, right? He loses it. Who fights for his belt? Saul Canelo Alvarez, against a guy that wasn't even in the division. So the guy that he fought against wasn't even a ranked opponent. They brought him up from another lower weight division. So how the hell did the guy qualify for fighting for the vacant belt? And how did Saul Canelo Alvarez, with never being in the WBC ranking, qualify to fight him for the belt? He said he didn't want no part of it. He gets the belt. Then he tells David the Monster Benavidez what? Jump through hoops of fire. Stand on one foot. Cover one eye. Now hop around. Now spin around backwards. Now go win an interim belt. Now go win a title eliminator. Now win another title eliminator. One more interim belt. Yo, he had that man doing everything. Didn't give him a shot. And still hasn't given him a shot to this day. So that's where I believe most of the fans right now that are cheering, some are cheering for Edgar Berlanga, is doing part that they want to see that the Saul Canelo rivalry reign end. And you guys do understand that he's going to have to beat him twice in order for that to occur. You better believe Saul Canelo Alvarez has a rematch clause put in place. And from my experience, the only time Saul Canelo Alvarez doesn't take a rematch is when he gets his ass whooped bad. He doesn't seem to fight the guys that beat him bad. He doesn't want to fight them next. He never fought Lara again. He didn't give him a shot back because he knew that fight was that close. And even though Saul won that fight, he wasn't going to give it back to him, was he? Hell no. He didn't run it back. So that's Saul's MO. If you whoop his ass, he'll shy away. He won't take the rematch. At this point, that's all Saul has left, are those belts. That's all he has left. He loses the belt, he probably will rematch Berlanga. It makes sense. Out of all the people you would rematch again, it would be Berlanga. I would think so. Yeah, so I don't think he would walk away from this one. I've been wrong before. I didn't think he was going to walk away from Demetrius Bivol. I was like, yeah, Bivol, you fucked up. You said you want to fight Saul at 168? Or you done now? Oh, Saul, wait till Saul hears this. And then Saul heard it. I looked at the interview and he says, no want to fight. I was like, what? Yo, that's your get back right there. What you mean you don't want to fight? I'm going to fight this guy over here. What? No, he's over here. Yo, and he acts like he doesn't hear anything and he just keeps walking. And then the fans support him. You know, he has a strong backing. So I guess when you got it like that, you got it like that, huh? Everybody else gotta go to work, huh? Yeah. Different fighters, they're in different places. And that's what it is with them. So that's a lot of fighters in actuality are rooting for Berlanga because they would like to see the reign to be over with. And then that would give the impression that the other guys would get opportunities at these belts. So there's soon going to be the IBF champion is going to fight for that eventually and defend the title in the 168 pound, you know, so there's a belt out there like that. And if Edgar was to pull this off, it, you know, branches. But like I said, he's going to have to beat him twice. So he has to get past the first one. We can't put the cart before the horse. Until he pulls up the upset, we'll talk about it then. But here we are. It's going to be a pretty decent card. It's a pretty decent card. We got Danny Garcia fighting, you know, Saul Canelo Alvarez, of course, and Edgar Berlanga, then Danny Garcia, you know, Lara. Okay, you got Caleb Plant versus Taylor. You know, you also got the return of Rolly. He's on the card. You know, you got Stephen Kubo Fulton. He's also on the card. You know, you got young guys that are also coming up. You got Jonathan Lopez. He's on the card. You know, Roman, you know, he's on the card as well. So the card is a decent card for boxing. As far as boxing, the card is a good card, a pretty strong card put together. I believe there's going to be enough entertaining fights to keep us entertained into the main event. You know, Naoya Inoue had his fight card, and basically he was the star on his card. And when we're talking about Naoya Inoue and his anticipation to come to United States of America to be on better cards and be better advertised in America. And I would like to see him on maybe a Terrence Crawford card, an Usyk card. You know, doesn't Bob Arum have Tyson Fury? Isn't he a Tyson Fury is a top ranked fighter? Tyson Fury. He could have put him on that card. Isn't Tyson Fury fighting in December? Naoya Inoue is scheduled to fight in December. Where's that fight being held at? In Saudi? And then Naoya Inoue is being reported that he is, in fact, going to fight Sam Goodman. Sam Goodman's on social media saying that he wasn't so impressed or whatever, that Naoya Inoue is beating his leftovers. Ba, 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 ba. You know, one good thing about Sam Goodman, he knows how to flip a story. And he knows how to, like, sell himself bigger than what he actually is. In fact, in Australia, he's not that big of a star. He's not a household name in Australia. And he's in his own home city. Sam Goodman is not that. He's not bigger than Tim Tszyu. I don't think he's bigger than George Kamboza. Sam Goodman is bigger than George. Come on, guys. Hell no. And how about bigger than Tim Tszyu? And if Tim Tszyu and George are not household names in Australia as more popular than their soccer, there's not a lot of people out there that even know who Tim Tszyu is. Or, so you're going to tell me Sam Goodman, nah, man, come on, man. But he tried to act like he's a massive star. And that Naoya Inoue needs to go to Australia to fight him. He's never fought anywhere else but Australia. Sam Goodman. So, his arrogance, though, I got to give it to him. For as far as allure, if you didn't know much about like boxing and the ins and out like I do, you would think he was like on the up and up, and then Naoya Inoue was ducking him. I swear to goodness, you would think, because he has that kind of like persona to himself, where when he speaks, if you let him tell it, oh man, the monster's been ducking him for years, doesn't want to fight him. If you let him tell it, for real. So, you know, guys, these are fights that I'm looking forward to. A lot of these fights. We also got AJ and Dubois. You know, that's a 50-50 for me right now. I honestly don't know. You know, I would like to think that AJ's going to wipe him down, right? There's a part of me that thinks that AJ is the more skilled, the most accomplished, the better veteran out of the two fighters. Is AJ, hands down, right? Okay. But Dubois, I forget how young he is and how with each fight he's learning on the job. And the way he's making improvements. In his last fight, he really showed a different style and a different approach to his fight game. And he looked like he believed in himself much more in that fight than in any other past fight. Dubois. He really believed in himself. I don't know where this belief came from or this confidence, because it was like some overwhelming confidence shit going up against the type of guy that he was fighting. Arguably, that was Dubois' toughest match. And this guy was supposed to knock out Dubois to use him as a stepping stone to get over him, to put himself in line for future potential at a heavyweight world championship. And Dubois must have not got the memo. He beat the shit. Well, it wasn't like a crazy beatdown, but he outboxed him, he outfought him, he outmuscled him, he outbullied him. Dubois did all that. He was in his face, exchanging, dipping, slipping punches better, countering better, utilizing his jab better. He didn't look like he had quit. He looked like his chin could take the punches now. He took some solid punches from that dude. I was like, oh, there it is. And then he was still standing. It was like a smoke trick. Like I thought when the smoke disappeared, he was going to be laid out on the ground. And when the smoke disappeared, he was still standing there. He was here to fight. I was like, maybe on the next one when homeboy catches him again, and he landed plenty, more than enough shots on Dubois' chin to have an opportunity to put him down. For as big as puncher that he was, he couldn't put him down. Dubois showed me a different side of him, and that fight in particular is now I have a little bit more belief in his ability, his punching power, his fortitude, his mental fortitude, not to quit, his resilience. All that was in question for me. But after that fight, I was like, So I think he's better, well prepared to fight against AJ now. I think, his experience fighting, knowing that he's the world champion coming into the fight, it would be the IBF, and this would be a title defense technically for him, because he was upgraded to the IBF, because they stripped Alexander Usyk. So, when you're coming into a fight too as a champion, it gives you that much confidence. AJ's been down this road before. He knows what it's like to lose the belts, regain the belts, fight for belts. This is nothing new to AJ. Just another day in the office. All AJ has to do basically is be himself. The one thing that I hold against AJ is that he hasn't got any work in between time. He may have had a fight in, but that fight against Francis Ngannou wasn't much of a fight now, was it? So that he didn't get any work done in that fight. So technically, he's kind of been out for a while. He did get a fight camp though. So he was in shape. He was. Whether or not the fight lasted a long time, so when you fight a guy that's low in competition, then all of a sudden spike that competition up so high, that's where you got to, in sparring, you got to remind yourself. You got to go a little hard and fast in sparring to remind yourself that you're in a fight. You don't want to go from a real down opponent to a top-notch guy. I don't care what your name is. You just don't want to. That's too much speed difference, power difference, knowledge difference. You don't want to trick yourself and believing like I can just knock anybody out and walk into a punch neither. So because he's going to have to box and fight Dubois. There's going to be moments in the fight where he's going to box, and there's going to be moments in the fight that I believe they just might have to fight. AJ's not that kind of fighter where he likes to get it down and ugly. He likes to set his shots up, hit you with a big shot, see you wobble, then put you away. That's kind of Anthony Joshua. He's more like that. So he's not your typically brawler. That was his mistake when it's his MO when he dropped Andy the Destroyer Ruiz. His MO is to go in and put him away. He got a little sloppy in his approach and paid the price for it. So yeah. You hope the ball puts AJ's butt on the canvas, Carlos. Yo, it's whoever you like in the fight, and I can respect that. You know, yo, what's going on front line? Putting them out there like that. Look at Edwin holding back for his prediction on fight night. Yo, yo, just trying to make it interesting, baby. You know what I'm saying? Fun line. Oh, you know what I'm saying? You put me out there, man. All right, look. What's up, Mark? How you doing? In the building. Please, people, don't forget to smash those likes.
Another one.
Another one. Because you know we dropping another one here. We have an amazing episode. You know that now we're going to be heading into our next fight. We're going to cover our next fight. And the Notre Dame's title will be on the line here at Round One Sports Talk. And seeing that the last two people that won it verbally came on and told me they couldn't be champion no more. So they vacated the belt to me. So initially, by default, I'm technically the champion again at Round One Sports Talk. I had to give you guys the news. Yo, this guy's cheating. He's a cheater. Yo, Carlos. Yo, I wait a minute. I think one of them is in actually in the chat. He might have caught me. You know what I mean? I want a lawyer. I never said that. Yo, uh, yo, Frontline, what's up, man? Email champion. Yeah, listen, I might just email myself the belt one more time. No, fight fans, we run a clean, non-biased contest here where you can come in and pick your fight. You got to pick the round and show that you have the boxing knowledge to pick the exact round and who's going to win the fight so that you can be awarded the Notre Dame's belt here at Round One Sports Talk. Now, every fight we go into this and we all have our typical suspects that think they're going to win this belt and outsmart me here at Round One Sports Talk, because not only are you trying to win the belt, but you're also trying to beat me, because I'm telling you, I can call these fights. So if you think you got what it takes, join us here at Round One Sports Talk. We'll have a blast. And, we got the typical suspects. They'll come in, Frontline, Carlos, Bam Bam, Armando. They'll all kind of try to come in and say their boxing knowledge, but we all know who the real Dangada is. It's Edwin here at Round One Sports Talk. So try to come beat me and pick these fights with us as we sit down and break down all these fights and have an amazing time. But at the end of the night, I think you're going to be salty because there's only going to be one winner, and it's going to be me. I'm going to show you I can call these fights. And here at Round One Sports Talk, they know me better known as the Notre Dame's champion of the world. Well, right now, I don't have my belt because it's currently Carlos and Ty. But it doesn't matter because I'm coming back for that title. I need it back. They called me an email champion because I only had it for a week or so. But that's okay because I'm training. I'm back in the gym. I'm being serious this time. I'm about to call these fights. That's it. You know what I'm saying? I'm locking in, laser focus. Games are over. Did y'all see Tom Brady calling these games tonight on the NFL with the Dallas and everything? Tom was doing his thing, a little shaky, but he had a lot of knowledge and insight in the game. Thumbs up, Tom. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my thing over here, Tom. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be like you. You know what I mean? Get one of them contracts, baby. Tom, holla at your boy. Holla at your boy, Tom Brady. I'm right here. Round One Sports Talk. Let's go. You never know. I might be next to Tom Brady. But like, yo, Tom, now turn it over to me to boxing. You know. yo, man. Yo, what? Oh, oh no. Time to win. We got to get it in. Yo, Carlos. I see you, my man. Yo. Frontline. Bam, Edwin's rules don't apply to Edwin. Yo. Yo, you guys, listen. Yo. Listen, let's take that down. Let's take that down. Why are we talking about old stuff? Why are we bringing up old stuff, Carlos? Okay, that was so long ago. But anyway, let's talk about some things that are important, right? Remember the time I was champion? Yo, you guys remember that shit? I was like an amazing champion. You know what I'm saying? I came on, I had the belt. It was flashing. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Carlos, I'm a sucker. Yo, Carlos, my man, I haven't done this for you. Let's show the people what it looks like. Let's bust out the Notre Dame's world title for my man Carlos in attendance. He is the reigning and defending Notre Dame's world champion of the world. Give it up for Carlos. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My name is Carlos, and I could win this without you guys. Notre Dame's title right here for Carlos. If you could see yourself, Carlos, this would be you holding up the belt. Yo, Carlos, I didn't put on the my pop-ups today because I'm doing the StreamYard one today. But if I had, I would have put them up for you. You know that, Carlos. This is your belt, but don't get used to it, Carlos. I'm not gonna even shine it up for you. No, I'm not, because it's a little dusty right now. Because I'll shine it up when I win it back. That's right, because I'm coming for the belt. Carlos, you're going down, bro. You're going down. Yeah, I want the belt back. That's it. And that's Carlos's world title right there. I can't let Carlos get his shot by himself because I got to interrupt the shine and throw a little jab in between there because I'm letting him know that I'm coming for that belt. You know, yeah. You ain't getting that. You ain't get that. Yo, guys. On the screen, it says Carlos Notre Dame's world title. Yo, see, I should have used the one that I could do that, but I didn't know I was going to be doing this right now, but I should be ready next time. We might have to throw Carlos's name up there. You know what I'm saying? Or we could start that new when I win. You know what I'm saying? And it'll be my name up on the screen. Yeah, I like that better. Yo, frontline, your man Edwin, he's a cheater. You know what I'm saying? Wait a minute, that's me. Oh, all right. Yo, I'm having too much fun with you guys. Listen, guys, you guys have been amazing. This has been a great show. Please don't forget to drop those likes for me, share, comment on the videos. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. We have an amazing time here talking about boxing, your favorite fighter, my favorite fighter, everyone's. And I made a safe platform where we could come on here and discuss all boxing. So come join me and talk about some of the biggest fights we have today. So, fight fans, like always, I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. Yo, Carlos, Frontline, Bam Bam, Mark, everyone that joined. If I'm missing you in the chat family, thank you for tuning in. Um, uh, Paradox, my grander, what? You're messing me up. My eyes are bad enough, man. There are too many letters mixed in. You're messing me up. You're making me focus right now. Half of the names I got to memorize because of my eyes. I got to get these glasses, guys. I will. But anyway, on to the next one. Let me throw it up for you at least. If I couldn't say it, I throw it up. Oh, I got it. All right, fight fans. On to the next. Peace.